No. Hi guys. My god. Excuse the greasy hair and the look and everything that's going on right now, but oh my god, you guys, if you could see my office right now, it's a mess. Let me put it that way because tomorrow is the last day and I are going to be here in the flat because we're leaving on Wednesday and everything's chaotic, but I couldn't leave without talking to you guys and answer your questions. The ground rules are as always the same. If you're new in this video, in this kind of video, welcome by the way. But this is going to be like a visual podcast in the sense that I am not going to show anything on screen. So if you want to do anything and put me on the background, that's totally okay. And two, I am going to leave all of the questions on the description of this video. So if you're watching this video for Patreon, you have to go to YouTube, like click the YouTube icon on the corner, and then you can see the question menu. So if you don't want to watch this entire video, you can totally do it because the questions are going to be listed down below. And also guys, just helped me last month or this month I guess, and we did this huge Patreon Q&A encyclopedia. So if I am not answering your question today, is because that question was already answered in a previous video. I saw a lot of you guys, thank you by the way for all of your questions. I saw a lot of you guys ask me about how do I feel when I'm lazy and I don't want to work, or how do I do with time management stuff, my history on YouTube, or what is my illustration process, my creative process, and all of those questions I already asked a couple of times on previous Q&A videos. So I'm going to leave that encyclopedia also in the description, so you can check all of the questions related to the topic that you're wondering. And don't worry, because even though the encyclopedia is huge, is listed on different topics, different categories, so you don't have to like read all of the questions, so don't worry. But yeah, so don't feel bad if I don't answer your questions. It's not because I hate you guys, it's because it's already answered. Anyway, the first question is from Azul Portillo, and she says, Hola Fran, ¿cómo estás? This is my first time asking you questions. I hope this isn't too much. Number one, I'm almost done with my graphic design studies at uni, but I started learning illustration by myself and now I'm very into that. I am from Argentina and I would love to study illustration abroad. In the time you lived in Europe, did you come across any countries, any courses, schools you will recommend, or maybe which country, city is good to work as an illustrator? So I don't think I've ever answered this question, but I think I haven't come across any courses or workshops for illustrators, because every time I used to see how much they were too expensive, and they didn't give you any type of scholarship or funding whatsoever. I remember I once went to I visit the VA, the visual arts illustration course in New York, and it was so freaking expensive that I'm like, okay, no, that's not gonna happen. But no, my love, I have no idea which courses and classes you can take, at least here in Europe. I know that if you're going for illustration, Paris, France is amazing. To me, France is in another dimension with illustration, because the way, at least in Europe, I think they're very up and guard. They're very forward thinking. So I think Paris is a great place to start, or any part of France will be wonderful. I think London is also really great with illustration, because there's tons of fairs and festivals and just like conventions about illustrations. There's one in Leeds, very famous, called Bubble Festival, I think, and it's really interesting. Here in Hastings, lots of illustration classes and illustrators are as well living here, and in Bristol as well there's a huge artist community living there. So the UK in general is really great for illustrators, and I'll say also Berlin. I think now, sorry, tiny verb. I think Berlin now is way better than when I was living there. I think because I didn't meet any illustrator back when I was living there, but I think now the illustration scene is way more, is bigger than when I used to live there. And that's it in Europe, I think. Maybe, I don't know if I'm missing anyone else, any country, but at least like London and at least in Europe, London and Paris, it's awesome, and Berlin. What else? Number two, I stress out really easily every time I go. I have to. Mi amor, Hamburguesa is here with us, joining us. Every time I have to talk to clients for freelance work, like replying emails, pricing, etc. And when the project is big, I don't know when I'm going to finish it, so it's hard for me to know if I can take another project at the same time. Have you ever felt like that? And if so, do you have any tips for taking it easy? So Azul, my advice is to always see how much an illustration or a project has taken you in the past. So have in mind, for example, okay, in the last project it was this size of project, so it took me, I don't know, let's say like 2 months to complete. So give a rough estimate of how long it's going to take you, and always add a little bit of time. You always have to expect that this project is going to take longer than expected, just in case. And the best case scenario is that you don't take that long and the client gets the illustration sooner. I think one way of making sure that the client is calm and just like content and happy working with you is that you give them a weekly or either 3 times a week updates on how the project is going. You can send him process screen caps, or like making sure that everything's okay, like by the way, this is how everything's going or everything's looking. I think when a client is anxious, it's because you're not giving enough check-in, so to speak. So you have to check in with the client on a regular basis and letting them know that everything's okay. I have worked with anxious clients in the past, and even though I try to avoid them at all costs, sometimes clients just like, they're natural anxious people and they want to know if everything's okay, or like what they're paying is going to worth. So make sure that you're giving updates, and there's nothing wrong with take more time than expected, unless it's something that they have a very tight deadline and you have to make it work no matter what. I think that every time I think the deadline is really tight and I can't ask for more time, they always give me more time, at least when I was working with clients doing commissions. But if not, you just have to make it work and learn from that experience. If you find yourself working too hard or like over hours, like during the night or during the weekends, it means that you're not fully conscious of how long the project does take. So you have to like learn from their experience and make sure that you're not repeating it again the next time. But I guess that's my most my most honest feedback. And finally, I wanted to ask you, when did you start sending the terms and conditions document? I think it's a great idea, but I feel like it's a bit too shy sending it to my clients. So I talked a lot about terms and conditions, if you have no idea what Azul is talking. But as soon as someone wants to work with me, like the first email I send, like I replied to a client, I put the terms and conditions. So for example, if a client sends me the first email saying like, "Hi Fran, my name is so-and-so and I would love to work with you," my immediate answer is, "Hi so-and-so, thank you so much for wanting to work with me. I would love to work with you in this timeline or like deadline, and if the deadline is not working, please let them know as soon as possible." And then immediately on the same email, the second one, I say, "By the way, I am attaching my terms and conditions. I know," and quote, I say this exactly like it sounds. I say, "I know it's a very it's a document with a very serious name, but it's basically a document that explains how I work and who I am and where to make the payment." And I usually place lots of images and nice things, like nice illustrations on the terms and conditions, and most of the times the response is, I can't believe how fun and funny your terms and conditions is. But yeah, usually, so answering your question, I'm sorry it took me so long as well. I usually send it, my first email already has my terms and conditions. And I have never had any reply from a client saying like, I am not working with you because you have a terms and conditions. Or they usually, I mean, 100% of the times they always answer saying like, oh my God, thank you, blah, blah. So you're not scaring clients away because you're attaching a document. So it's okay. Like in the beginning, you will feel very weird about attaching it and saying, this is my terms and condition, but then it will become like very like nature for you, so don't worry. Yay! So Shirley, my God, Shirley, I never know how to say your name, I'm so sorry. Shirley, hi Fran, I love your video and your energy every time I watch your video. Honestly, you're amazing. Oh, thank you, my God. Can I ask you how you deal with the feelings of laziness and motivated? Okay, so the first question you asked, Shirley, I already answered it, but I screen cap your question because the second one I haven't answered yet. And also, do you ever encounter with the feelings of not enough time to be successful in your career as you grow older? I mean, the feeling of not having enough time is something that I've experienced more and more, because I'm so glad that now Jazz is helping me a lot with the things that with like shop managing stuff, and I'm like, yes, I can finally have some time to draw, but suddenly I have more things to do now regarding like projects and designing and stuff. So even though I have a support of people, the support of people that are helping me constantly with Ed, for example, editing the videos, I have been feeling lately that there's so many projects I want to do and so little time. So by the way, I'm so sorry that the light is changing so much, guys. There's a storm going on right now. I mean, not right now, but yeah, okay, the weather is crazy. But yeah, I've been feeling very overwhelmed with the things that I really want to do. And I guess I don't have an answer to this question yet because I have no idea I haven't figured out the way of making amends with the idea that I'm not going to be able to do all the things that I want to do, which is something really sad. But at some point, you have to prioritize the things. And is that your question, Shirley? But yeah, I want to do a list of the things that I want to do and just commit to the first 5 and then see what happens, because there's not enough time in the day to do all the things I want to do, guys, which is sad. But I guess that's part of life. Sonia asked a lot of questions and I answer most of them, but there's one that I didn't answer. So, do you have any other creative endeavors besides illustration? I know you play the ukulele, and I'm wondering if you do anything else. Besides ukulele, no, my love, and I feel really bad and guilty of not doing something else with my hands and like with my creativity. But I love drawing so much that it's become part of my most of all the time I have left in the day. I want to draw, even though I've spent most of the day drawing. Is something that I really enjoy. So is that sick, you guys? I also enjoy cooking a lot, so I guess cooking is also something that I do. You also asked me, what do you do at the gym? What's your workout routine? I do lots of spinning. Is that how you call it? No, spinning is with a bicycle, right? I do, what is the name of that in English? This is my life, guys. Is that, in Spanish it's called elliptica. It's the elliptical bike, right? It's when you move your hands like this. Yeah, I do that. I use that machine a lot because it's gentler on my knees. So it's not spinning. I hope you know what I mean exactly. But yeah, it's the elliptical. Is that the word, elliptical? I hope you know what I mean. I know there's another word for saying that, but anyway, I do that for 4 miles, and then I do lots of stretching. I do the board as well. The board is horrible, guys. If you do the board, you know exactly how I mean. I do 3 minutes of board, and the board. I can say the word more. And I think in total I am at the gym 1.5 hours, something like that, and I really, really enjoy it. After that, I want to kill myself because it's too intense, but I feel so happy and relaxed after I go to the gym. And what else? 4, I love your New Year's resolution to not buy new clothes this year. Would you share any tips about buying secondhand clothes? Maybe that's a video idea, actually. Yeah, it might be a video idea. So Sonia, and I haven't bought any clothes so far. I know. So it's going to be March in a couple of days, and I haven't bought any clothes so far this year, but I guess when you go thrift shopping, you have to be really open to what you find. I always have a list of the things that I really need, because every time I go to charity shops and I find really nice things, they're usually things that I not need necessarily, but I really, really like and I really want. So it's very easy for me to leave the shop with lots of things. So I think that's my main advice. Just be open-minded with the things that you find, and also have a list of the things you need. Because yeah, thrift shops, especially the ones in the US, can be really overwhelming. But I guess I'm going to give you an update with this after my trip to the US, because then I will visit lots of thrift shops, so I can let you know if I have any more tips. But yeah, thank you so much, Sonia. I hope I answered your question in some way. Anaestra, God, am I saying your name correctly? I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. So number 1, I was wondering when you were beginning your private commissions, not big companies, just the average nerd, I love that, behind the screen, did you have clients that you were commissioning on a regular basis? Yes. I had a couple of people that either they own very, very tiny small companies, or they were thinking about publishing a book someday, and they were regulars. Regulars, I'm saying like 3 times in a year working with the same people, or we really enjoyed our company and working with each other. So they always come back for like private commissions for, I don't know, like birthday presents for family members and stuff like that. And it was great. I think that is the thing that I miss the most about private commissions, is the idea of working with average nerds. Number 2, how did you manage to get such a big community following you? I think I already answered this question. Yes, I already answered it. And number 3, I swear it's the last one. Do you and Ed have plans of having a tiny baby, FranEd? Yes, we would love to have a baby, but we have no idea when, because it's a huge responsibility and we're like shit scared about this. But yeah, we would love to be parents soon. And then you say, thank you so much for everything. You're such an inspiration, and your pet is so cute. Thank you, baby. Thank you. I'm sorry for not answering the first question, but I promise I already answered it on a previous Q&A. Okay, guys. Last but not least, I have a very weird but nice request from Lizzie Carroll, because the day you're recording this, February 26th, oh my god, today is my 22nd birthday. I was wondering if you could be willing to dance Taylor Swift 22 with Cyril Hamburguesa. Okay, I can't dance that, Lizzie, because Hamburguesa is a douchebag and he hates to be held. And I can't put the song on the video because we'll get like copyright claim stuff, but I can sing it for you, and I have it right now. Bring night to dress up like hipsters and make up like exes. It feels like a perfect night for a perfect midnight to fall in love with strangers. Yeah. I haven't sung this song in so long. I'm so sorry. It's time. Oh, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. Everything's gonna be alright. Can't make me next to you. Think you want to Everything's gonna be alright. We just keep dancing like we were 22. She was sleeping, so happy birthday, Lizzie. Woo, 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 woo. Okay, Lizzie, I hope you have an amazing birthday. Thank you so much for your support. So is right now like, what the hell are you doing with the video? She was so cozy, but it was totally worth it. Okay, guys, I have to go. I have to edit this video and upload it today because I'm filming it today. I hope you enjoyed this Q&A. It was now on a very proper length and not an hour and a half, 2 hours. I am again sorry if I didn't answer your questions, but everything will be listed down below. I feel like I have cereal hair everywhere. But yeah, stay tuned for more content going up this week. We have the final installment of the scene, behind the scene, and we're also going to see each other this Friday for the podcast newsletter. And yeah, guys, I can't wait to see you again. I hope you answer your questions, and I hope you're having a wonderful day and a wonderful week ahead. I love you so freaking much. Bye bye, guys. Bye. Happy birthday, Lizzie. Bye.